We'll look at Thursday. Our Chicago Bears go on the road to take on the Washington Commanders. Wayne, what are you thinking?
I mean, let's just be quick with it. Yeah, Commanders. I think they're gonna win. Looked really impressive, right, against the Eagles. Kind of you just went down to the wire in overtime there. Bears, still the same Bears. Kind of bad coaching overall. Eberflus, with the whole like, oh, should I go field goal? Maybe not, or whatever. And then, yeah, I mean, it looked like Justin Fields played better, but I think the key thing here is that offensive line against the Commanders' defensive line. I think that's going to cause some issues there and some problems. So for me, yeah, it's going to be Commanders. I think they're favored by a touchdown here. It'd be something like that. I feel like, but the Bears just not have been. They just haven't been playing that well at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you make a good point with the defensive line because when we saw Fields go on the road against the Tampa Bay Bucks, for example, I mean, they were closing up that pocket, really
Mm-hmm.
quick, really hard. It feels like when he goes up against, defenses that are pretty competent, he seems to struggle. I think over the next few weeks to follow this one, his schedule will loosen up a little bit. Maybe we'll see, the Justin Fields we remember from last year. Maybe running around doing all sorts of crazy things. I don't see him running around forward. I see him running around a lot backward in this one. If there's anything that's going to be a saving grace for the Bears, and maybe makes this game tighter, maybe going with the under on the spread here, but like Commanders haven't looked very good. As far as offense goes, I mean, Sam Howell had a bounce back week, I think last week, but I'm still kind of like wondering what the range of expectation is, maybe for a guy like Howell. Brian Robinson seems to be cementing himself as the RB1 on the team. Seemed like McLaurin was a little bit more involved last game too. So offensively, I'm like still I'm a little bit like concerned or maybe just not as assured of the upside of the Commanders on that front. But yeah, against the Bears, I mean at this point, I mean you and I have both talked about draft scenarios. Will they get the first pick and the second pick overall this draft? Possibly. If we can continue to watch Carolina falter, that'd be awesome. But yeah, I guess give me the Commanders in a tight one here. And if this continues to kind of falter, at least for the Bears, if they're actually, losing one game after the other, wanting to line up for that one seed. I mean, we got to start talking about like what's the possibility at least of a Justin Fields trade, if it could be possible. Like if we're lining up for Caleb Williams, we want to go that route. Like what would the league give us in return for a guy like Fields? Granted, a new system, could take him on, or new coaching, could be a great, change of scenery for a guy like Fields. I don't know what you think about that.
I mean, I 100% think that the issue with Justin Fields, at least in his tenure here with the Bears, has been coaching. It's been, inconsistent, whether it be like, all right, I got Matt Nagy here. Oh, wait, maybe not anymore. I got Eberflus and Luke Getzey. And then the play calling of Getzey has been, sketch. It, Obviously, a little bit better, this in his previous game, albeit it's like, this Denver Broncos defense just isn't good, and there's a reason why that they were 0-3 heading into the season. So, and I had high hopes, and I was kind of right, but then lo and behold, some bad coaching. Like I'm done with Eberflus and Getzey at this point. I think they both ought to be fired. I think I said that this last episode, this previous week, and I'm still holding to it. They've made some terrible decisions, and I'm like, man, we could have had like a Doug Peterson, we could have had Mike McDaniels and all that, but now it's kind of moving on and see who can we get now. Eric Bieniemy, maybe. Like this could be interesting in terms of how do we progress forth on, not. I think that's what I'm thinking about. Who can we get now in the future? So I'm definitely like watching Caleb Williams be like, hey, we're not that bad. Like I know there's this whole idea of you can stay one more year or something like that, or you can pull off an Eli Manning and like kind of force a trade, if you will, right? So if that's the case, hey, maybe that's fine. That could be interesting. It's like maybe we do keep Justin Fields, but at the same time, like, and then load up on other players. There's some pretty good offensive linemen there with what all, and that Penn State guy, is it Olafonsu, and then Obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. Like those would be awesome players to add there, but at this point, like all the switches with say Justin Fields and then picking up, whatever option he has, not the most ideal setting. So that's definitely where I feel like that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm very open to all those things. I do believe though, if Justin Fields were to have like, if he were to be put into like a Baker Mayfield type of situation, right, where he's with right now with, that loaded, talented team, there with the Bucks with two awesome wide receivers there, pretty decent offensive line. Like I think he could succeed. I think he really could. Like, could you imagine if he were to be there with, yeah, this Commanders team, like that could be, with Eric Bieniemy. I feel like, yeah, they would be a lot better team. But, with everything that they have with the Bears, I feel like, yeah, maybe just blow it up and see what else we can get, for this first, second pick and see if we can get a Caleb Williams. I would love to see him. I've liked what I've seen from his like improvisational skills, his style of throws. I saw he was like 6'1". I'm like, he plays like, like a nice 6'2", 6'3", or whatever. I know it's a couple inches, but he plays. He just plays so cerebrally right. His form's great. Like he's a great passer. He can beat you on his legs too. It's hard for me to find any flaws there. I just love watching him. So yeah, I don't know. I'm happy just to blow it up. Totally content with that. Move on. Say, hey, it was nice knowing you, Justin Fields. Things just didn't work out, but yeah, if he can find a good situation out there, and there's several of them out there, then yeah, he has the talent to be somewhat of a successful quarterback. I think in this league.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about teams like Atlanta, wanting to
Mm,
establish the run, you know, passed on Lamar Jackson probably because of the price tag. Ritter's been, you know, more of a like uh, handoff first quarterback at this point. Very low attempts, trying to be more consistent with what he throws. But you get a guy like Fields pairing with Bijan Robinson or something with Arthur Smith that wants to run. Like that could be fun. That could be a good change for Justin. Also looking at Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin as one of the better coaches in the league. They've had ups and downs at quarterback, but he's got Trubisky backing up Pickett at this point, who just happened to run into a knee injury. So I think he likes this idea of more athletic style quarterback, somebody who's a little bit mobile who can pass too. But I think Tom would be the perfect guy to like mold Justin Fields into a real player. It doesn't solve all of our problems. Maybe we get a low first round pick, maybe a second, depending on what teams see in Fields. I think he's probably worth right around that at this point in the season. But honestly, you know, looking into next year for Chicago, and I know this is kind of digressing from week 5, but it's like the kind of trade we made for DJ Moore, where we traded down and got not only a incredible wide receiver, but then some extra picks to boot. We got to be doing that with any top tier pick that we get in this year's draft, especially
mm,
Carolina's. Like we might as well offer that, see what it we can maybe get back if we grab Caleb Williams first. Like we just need so much team,
yeah.
and we're talking about going up against the Commanders, and we're like, yeah, we don't even think they're going to be competitive against the Commanders. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really liked kind of, what the Houston Texans did, right? This previous draft with, getting CJ Stroud, getting kind of the two most important positions, right? In the modern day NFL is like it's quarterback and defensive lineman, an edge rusher of some sort, with Will Anderson and yeah, CJ Stroud there. So, I know Jared Verse is a name that's been tossed around there at Florida State. And I think there's like a guy that whoever Alabama, the Georgia defensive ends usually they're pretty good there too. So yeah, some sort of edge rusher and then quarterback. Because yeah, the Bears too, like they're last in sacks this season, and that's really caused, in my opinion, like I don't know, like all the secondary for the Bears right now, they're all like first, second rounders, or we got Eddie Jackson there who went to a Pro Bowl. But yeah, they've had to kind of just stick to whoever their man is for like 5 seconds and not be able to, they've had to be kind of getting the brunt of the stick there with that kind of really anemic pass rush. So, Ngakwe really has been the only one getting to the quarterback there. So, I would love to see some sort of either a signing. I haven't checked out who's going to be available maybe this off season from the edge rusher or additional defensive tackle positions. But yeah, we need some pass rush there like desperately if we want to be in contention or somewhat in contention maybe next season or just building for a better defensive line for the future. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just open to kind of all things at the moment.